grass. Love on my life, it's always gonna last. Mama love it when I'm going to class, and you know every trial and test, yes, I'ma pass. 40 days, 40 nights, hit fast. Always by my side, always down the ride. That's why I call your name, they come and say today, you're the only one, you're shy. Late night when I get a little lonely, get down on my knees.
Hi everyone, I am coming before you right now to read the Wisdom of Solomon chapters 1, 2, and 3. Okay, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, chapter 1, it's going to be out of the Apocrypha, obviously. Chapter 1, verse 1. Love righteousness, ye that be judges of the earth. Think of the Lord with a good heart, and in simplicity of the heart seek him. Verse 2. For he will be found of them that tempt him not, and showeth himself unto such as do not distrust him. So he will show himself to you if you trust him. So just trust him, so he will show himself. Verse 3. For forward thought separate from the Most High, and his power, when it is tried, reproveth the unwise. Verse 4. For unto a malicious soul wisdom shall not enter, nor dwell in the body that is subject to sin. So wisdom will not dwell in a body that is subject to sin, or wisdom will not enter into a malicious soul. That's what that means, obviously. Verse 5. For the Holy Spirit of discipline will flee deceit, and remove from thoughts that are without understanding, and will not abide when unrighteousness cometh in. Okay, it won't stay when unrighteousness comes in. Verse 6. For wisdom is a loving spirit, and will not acquit a blasphemer of his words. For the Most High is witness of his reins, and a true beholder of his heart, and a hearer of his tongue. Verse 7. For the Spirit of the Lord filleth the world, and that which containeth all things hath knowledge of his voice. Verse 8. Therefore he that speaketh unrighteous things cannot be hid, neither shall vengeance, when it punisheth, pass him by. Verse 9. For inquisition shall be made into the counsels of the ungodly, and the sound of his words shall come unto the Lord, for the manifestation of his wicked deeds. Verse 10. For the ear of jealousy heareth all things, and the noise of murmuring is not hid. Verse 11. Therefore beware of murmuring, which is unprofitable, and refrain your tongue from backbiting, for there is no word so secret that shall go for naught, and the mouth that believeth slayeth the soul. Verse 12. Seek not death in the error of your life, and pull not upon yourselves destruction with the works of your hands. Verse 13. For the Most High made not death, neither hath he pleasure in the destruction of the living. 14. For he created all things that they might have their being, and the generations of the world were healthful, and there is no poison of destruction in them, nor the kingdom of death upon the earth. Verse 15. For righteousness is immortal. Verse 16. But ungodly men with their works and words called it to them. For when they thought to have it their friend, they consumed to naught and made a covenant with it, because they are worthy to take part with it. Chapter 2, verse 1. For the ungodly said, reasoning with themselves, but not aright, our life is short and tedious, and in the death of a man there is no remedy. Neither was there any man known to have returned from the grave. Verse 2. For we are born at all adventure, and we shall be hereafter, as though we had never been. For the breath in our nostrils is as smoke, and a little spark in the moving of our heart. Verse 3. With which being extinguished, our body shall be turned into ashes, and our spirit shall vanish as the soft air. Verse 4. And our name shall be forgotten in time, and no man shall have our words in remembrance, and our life shall pass away as the trace of a cloud, and shall be dispersed as a mist that is driven away with the beams of the sun, and overcome with the heat thereof. Verse 5. For our time is a very shadow that passeth away, and after our end there is no returning. For it is fast sealed, so that no man cometh again. Verse 6. Come on, therefore, let us enjoy the good things that are present, and let us speedily use the creatures like as in our youth. Verse 7. Let us fill ourselves with costly wine and ointments, and let no flower of the spring pass us by. Verse 8. Let us crown ourselves with rosebuds before they be withered. Verse 9. Let none of us go without his part of our voluptuousness. Let us leave tokens of our joyfulness in every place, for this is our portion, and our lot is this. Verse 10. Let us oppress the poor righteous man. Let us not spare the widow, nor reverence the ancient gray hairs of the aged. Verse 11. Let our strength be the law of justice, for that which is feeble is found to be nothing worth. Verse 12. Therefore let us lie in wait for the righteous, because he is not for our turn, and he is clean contrary to our doings. He upbraideth us with our offending the law, and objective to our infamy the transgressions of our education. Verse 13. He professes to have the knowledge of the Most High, and he calleth himself the child of the Lord. 14. He was made to reprove our thoughts. Verse 15. He is grievous unto us to behold, for his life is not like other men's. His ways are of another fashion. Verse 16. We are esteemed of him as counterfeits. He abstaineth from our ways as from filthiness. He pronounceth the end of the just to be blessed, and maketh his boast that the Most High is his Father. 17. Let us see of his words to be true, and let us prove what shall happen in the end of him. Verse 18. For if the just man be the Son of the Most High, he will help him and deliver him from the hands of his enemies. Verse 19. Let us examine with despitefulness and torture, that we may know his meekness and prove his patience. Verse 20. Let us condemn him with a shameful death, for by his own saying he shall be respected. Verse 21. Such things they did imagine and were deceived, for their own wickedness have blinded them. Verse 22. As for the mysteries of the Most High, they knew them not, neither hoped they for the wages of righteousness, nor discerned a reward for blameless souls. Verse 23. For the Most High created man to be immortal, and made him to be an image of his own eternity. Verse 24. Nevertheless, through envy of the devil came death into the world, and they that do hold of his side do find it. Chapter 3. But the souls of the righteous are in the hand of the Most High, and there shall no torment touch them. In the sight of the unwise they seem to die, and their departure is taken for misery. Verse 3. And they're going from us to be utter destruction, but they are in peace. Verse 4. For though they be punished in the sight of men, yet is their hope of immortality. And having, verse 5, and having been a little chastised, they shall be greatly rewarded. For the Most High proved them and found them worthy for himself. Verse 6. As gold in the furnace hath he tried them, and received them as a burnt offering. Verse 7. And in the time of their visitation they shall shine and run to and fro like sparks among the stubble. Verse 8. They shall judge the nations and have dominion over the people, and their Lord shall reign forever. Verse 9. They that put their trust in him shall understand the truth, and such as be faithful in love shall abide with him. For grace and mercy is to his saints, and he hath care for his elect. Verse 10. But the ungodly shall be punished according to their own imaginations, which have neglected the righteous and forsaken the Lord. Verse 11. For whoso despiseth wisdom and nurture, he is miserable. And their hope is vain, their labors unfruitful, and their works unprofitable. Verse 12. Their wives are foolish, and their children wicked. Verse 13. Their offspring is cursed, wherefore blessed is the barren that is undefiled, which hath not known the sinful bed. She shall have fruit in the visitation of souls. Verse 14. And blessed is the eunuch with which his hands had wrought no iniquity, nor imagined wicked things against the Most High, for unto him shall be given a special gift of faith and an inheritance in the temple of the Lord, more acceptable to his mind. Verse 15. For glorious is the fruit of good labors, and the root of wisdom shall never fall away. Verse 16. As for the children of adulterers, they shall not come to their perfection, and the seed of an unrighteous bed shall be rooted out. Verse 17. For though they live long, yet shall they be nothing rewarded, and their last age shall be without honor. 18. Or if they die quickly, they have no hope, neither comfort in the day of trial. Verse 19. For horrible is the end of the unrighteous generation. I hope you guys enjoyed that. That is the Wisdom of Solomon, chapters 1, 2, and 3. All right. I love you all. All praise be to the Most High. It is nothing of myself that I'm able to do these things. And bye-bye.
Deep like grass. Love on my life, it's always gonna last. Mama love it when I'm going to class, and you know every trial and test, yes, I'ma pass. 40 days, 40 nights, heat fast. Always by my side, always down the ride. That's why I call your name, they come and say today, you're the only one. You're shy.